talk is an illumination in the part of the audience, but it enhances their decision and it teaches them how to act and react to real life issues. To my right, I have
Samida Twadewali.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
And to my left,
Wumi Awotoye.
you're so awesome, very welcome.
Thank you.
Today, we will be talking about the issue of romance. The women of this age, are they romantic? And if they're not, what can they do? My first question will go to Mommy.
Really, because I don't have any statistics to back that up. I don't have any samples that I can use to generalize. So I'll kind of stay in between that. I'll kind of sit on the fence on that a little bit.
Women of this age romantic.
Well, I wouldn't like to generalize with this question. However, if we look at our mothers, the days of our mothers, I would say we're doing a better job. And if I look to the younger ones, I would say we have a lot of work to do. We can still do something to put spice in the marriage, like wear sexy lingeries, do something crazy. I mean, you're not still into to have fun with your husband. It's natural. Sex is a beautiful thing. Enjoy it. Look good. Make your husband, wow over you. Go out and then let your husband be proud and say, yes, that's my baby. There's nothing wrong in calling your husband baby outside. There's nothing wrong French kissing your husband outside. It's yours. It's your property. You own him.
In other words, you're saying that the women of this generation are more romantic than Asian women.
I would not like to be quoted.
Because you said that the younger ones, they know how to give it to the man.
I said we were doing a better job than the days of old.
Just looking at a woman off the street or from someone that you're dating or someone you're courting, can you tell they're romantic?
Obviously not. You can never tell if a lady is romantic or not. A woman can pretend for as long as she wants to get the man that she wants to get. That's just what it is. You cannot tell a woman can pretend. She can act all romantic. She can act all lovey-dovey, and once she gets that diamond, she brings out the real color.
The onset. How could you tell that they're romantic? They're not. What do you do?
Well, from the onset is a little bit difficult because except you spend an enormous time with somebody, you can never tell who they are or their true personalities. So for you to come to know if somebody's romantic or not, it's going to take a lot of time. You're going to spend time with the person, and some people are good at pretending for longer times than the other. Some can pretend quite well for like a year. Some can pretend quite well for like 5 years, and you won't know until you start living with a person that, okay, I thought this person was like this. So you might not really know. Let me not say you can't emphatically. You might not really find out if someone is romantic or not if you don't spend enough time with them. And after you probably get married to the person and you find out that the person is not romantic, then that means you have a lot of work in your hand to change style, to change presentation, and to probably put in more time and more effort in trying your best to make sure that the person turns out to be romantic.
Let me ask
that
a
would be
question.
a good luck about that.
Sorry to cut you short, but what has romance got to do with this?
What has romance got to do with it? Why would you be in a relationship without romance? What is the significance of romance in any relationship?
What happened to love?
Yeah, can I just come in
Yes.
to answer that question a little bit? They're two separate things, right? But I've seen situations where people will say, yes, I really love this person. I've seen men complain, I really love her, but she's complaining that I'm not romantic. The love is there, but what are the actions?
Exactly. That's
to show forth that
that's
you're
exactly
passionate.
my point.
I think the romance part of it is the actions coming forth to show your passion towards something, towards somebody. Like you love this person. Okay, how are you showing it to that effect to make sure that the person feels it,
From her question, how does romance come in? Can you love someone? And not show an ounce of romance? Can you love someone and not be and aren't romantically involved with them.
Yes, you can.
It's possible.
Yes, you
I
can.
think that's why she asked that question. It's
Yeah.
possible because there are some people
Because
that just
the-
caught up in their own, ways. Some
Ego.
people are introvert. They
You
don't
know,
like
it's-
going out. So you're like, okay, my own part. I love for you to be romantic. I want to go out to the movies. But some people are like, no. What does going out to the movies have to do with it? I've heard different stories and different things from different sides, and I know I've heard this statement that I really love her, but she's complaining that I'm not romantic. I don't care. Why should I buy her flowers? I really love you. Can't you just see? I'm taking care of you. I'm dying for you. But can you show me that part of passion to follow?
And from the part of the country that we come from, we're not brought up to show affection. We're brought up in a
Exactly.
very rigid environment. And showing affection is a sign of weakness for the man. It's not like they feel like spending money on you is showing affection, is being romantic.
Exactly, but it's two different things.
I'd rather have a man hold me, kiss me, even in public, because it's mine.
So what I hear you say is both romance and love cannot determine the success of a relationship.
Oh,
so you
definitely.
can have either of both.
Yes, you
and
can.
you can be contented with it.
I wouldn't say contented.
Well, you have to be careful with that because some people can be so romantic, they're passionate about something,
But they don't
deep
care
down
about
within
them.
They don't love the people.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, we've seen different situations here. Let's keep it real. There are some people that I've heard, oh my goodness, he's so nice. He buys chocolate, he buys flowers before you get to your desk, something, a note is sitting out there. But then it's like, I really don't love this person, but I just,
It's just
want to
an
show
innate.
his
It's
passion is
innate.
just innate.
Exactly.
For me to just
It's
show.
lust.
That
You know?
I can, I can show this person a little bit of passion. We have to be very careful here, And some people, you look through them, you see love, but then a little bit of timidity, they can really show it. They can pour it
Egoism.
out. Ego can add to it,
Yeah.
and a lot of other underlying factors that can
Okay.
cut off that romantic part.
Okay. I'm learning too. What are the things that can remove romance from a woman's life? What are those things?
When she gives the all and she's not getting anything back in return, oh my God. That right there can stress out a woman. I mean, she does. I'm gonna give this very example. I know someone, she goes home at about 3 o'clock every day, regardless of wherever she is, just to make sure that she has food on the table for her husband. She does everything, and I look at this woman and I see her as the Proverbs woman, and her husband just doesn't care. I mean, left to me right there, that alone is enough to frustrate the woman, and just close her up in a shell.
Cool, location or environment inhibit a woman from showing romance. Say, for instance, how she grew up under the stress of a parent or constant battling of a husband, animosity, constant, what do
Okay,
you say?
so something like maybe the foundation that you know while
Exactly.
growing
Group.
up. Yes, that can affect romance. Because if you're used to a rigid environment, if you're used to not even saying it, I mean, you practically did not have any ounce of it. You never saw it in your environment. It can really affect you because then you're boxed up. You've never seen it before. You've never seen anyone, do a candlelit dinner before. You've never seen anyone buy flowers for somebody. You've never seen anyone exchange chocolate with somebody. So it can affect you because you're just right there in your box. You don't know what to do. At times, some people are like, I want to show it, but what are the things that I need to do to show it? So that can really go a long way to affect the romance. That
How about
a woman
peer
can
pressure?
show.
Do you think peer pressure can...
Before I go into that, I just want to add something else to that. It actually goes both ways, There were some people that, yes, they weren't brought up in a loving environment, and they're so determined that they do not want to go that route.
can peer pressure, and I'm not talking about peers. I'm talking about from a parent wanting their daughter to marry at all costs, or they're thinking, age she's due to marry. Can it remove romance, or you're not seeing your parents doing it, all those things.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And that is very, very, very rampant in our society. Um, Once a lady's clocking 25, or she graduates from college, the next thing they're saying is, oh, okay, so when are you going to get married, or for instance, sisters getting married and they're asking the other sister, or they actually praying in excuse my vernacular, and they say atieno adeo, and those things right there are pressure on the younger ones to get married, and then the next thing that comes, professing their love, or they just feel like, oh, okay, even if I don't love him, I'll grow to love him, and then they go into something, knowing from the very beginning that, oh, this is not meant to be. That right there, I would say it's pressure. The pressure to belong, oh, all my friends are getting married, or I'll be 30 this year and I'm not married. So then they go settle. And that's something that I would advise: never settle.
What are some spice that it can add to their marriage or to their relationship?
I think one of the most important thing is spending time together. You have to cultivate the habit of spending time. If everything is so busy, I think you need to stop, take time off, maybe a vacation, maybe a weekend, just go somewhere. It doesn't have to be expensive. There are things that you can do that are so cheap. You can drive down maybe 2 hours here or 3 hours here that you won't even need, to purchase a ticket. Take time off. Spending time together is very important. Take time off, go spend time alone with your spouse. You have time to discuss about things. You have time to offload, so to say, your mind and talk about things that are disturbing you. So I think spending time together is one of the important things.
One advice for our audience?
For the married ones, send him a text message. You know what I mean? Those text messages, if you don't have words, give me a buzz. I will give you some messages that you can send that would send his head sparkling.
Well, I would say that let's keep being romantic. Let's keep loving our spouses, because that is the only way that the marriage can grow and it's not going to die. So it's very important.
Thank you so much, ladies, for coming on the show tonight. The way a child grows up will determine what they will become, except they determine to go a different route. So I would say, let's love our spouses, parents. Let's show our children love. If it's just a peck, a touch, just take something off of his hair, her hair, show her love. Your children are watching, and that's one thing that I have learned. Let them come home and talk to you about anything. Give them a free atmosphere. It's not how well or how fast. It's not how fast you get to a destination, but I think it's how well, because you leave a footstep, a print in the sand. Someone is following you, and you never know how many generations you will touch. So thank you so much for watching tonight, and until next time, we say thank you.